Hello everybody, we're going to jump right into it today. You may recognize this Dell Precision, this holy Dell Precision, as one of the laptops that I got from Trident Electronics. This laptop had a hole drilled in it, and they also drilled into the keyboard. Apparently, companies do this for tax purposes. If a device is destroyed to destroy the data, the company can write it off as a loss. Thankfully, I can fix her, because it still turns on. You know all this from the video I made on the Dell Latitude that I tried replacing the screen on, which of course you watched. And if you didn't watch it, well,
that's okay.
But I need a new laptop because the laptop I have right now cannot do video editing. This has an i9, it's a 12th gen i9, it has a NVIDIA P something or other, 18 gigs of RAM or 24 gigs of VRAM or something. This thing is very powerful. It also has DDR5 CAM RAM, which is a newer type of RAM. It has a weird modular design. It's interesting. I paid like 200 bucks for this computer. This computer sells for about $1,500 on eBay, used right now. Good come up. However, I need to replace the screen. Now this has an FHD screen. I want to replace it with a UHD screen, 4K. Because I need to make sure my tentacle poke is in its greatest resolution. So that's what we're gonna do today. I ordered a screen. Shout out to Parts People, the second greatest technician that's ever lived. I think he ended up buying an entire device just to provide me with the screen. So I believe he gave me two screens. He gave me the FHD one and the 4K one, just in case the FHD one didn't work. Because sometimes I guess it just doesn't work. I don't know. He's the greatest Dell technician that's ever lived, so I trust his judgment. That package with the screen is somewhere. There it is. That's very light. There's a screen in here? Well, it says Parts People, so let's open it. Attention, gooch collector. This gooch killed a laptop and needs to be disposed of properly. Thanks. The second greatest technician that has ever lived. Oh dear. That is gooch strips. High quality gooch strips. Is that it? There's nothing else in there.
Is this how you pleasure our mom?
Yes. I'm used to ripping holes open. Oh, I shouldn't say that. This gooch is worthy. I have quite the collection at this time. Where's the actual screen? Perfect. The 4K screen cost me $320 and the FHD screen cost me $191. So this is two screens. This is the FHD screen and the 4K screen. So the reason I like this laptop, the Precision, is because I can install two different screens on it. I like to have customization in my tech and in my internet browsers.
Which is why I use Opera One R2. Because let's be real, your browser is boring, and this one isn't. First off, the music player. You can control your music without even leaving your tab. Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Music, whatever your flavor is. Just hover over the sidebar, pause it, skip it, vibe check it. You can even pop it out and float that thing anywhere, even outside the browser. It's like sorcery, but legal. And do you like themes as much as I do? Well, Opera does. Just pick a vibe. Midsummer, Aurora, whatever your heart desires. You can change the colors, the sounds, even get animated backgrounds to make your browser actually have a personality. Craving a split screen? Just drag the tab down and bam, two tabs, one window. Merch on the right, task list on the left. And if you're like me and keep 47 tabs open, just in case, tab traces leave little glowing breadcrumbs so you can remember where you came from, spiritually and browser-wise. This complements the Tab Islands feature, which groups your tabs based on context, so my shopping stuff can be in one island and my social media in another. Press these two hotkeys to bring out Aria, Opera's AI, right from your tab like it's a sci-fi sidekick, and even generate or analyze images without leaving the page. Basically, if your browser isn't Opera One R2, it's just sad. So upgrade your browser life and check out Opera One R2 by clicking the link in the description and the pinned comment.
Again, I like having choices. It's nice to have choices. And if you're watching this, Parts People, second greatest technician that's ever lived, the check's in the mail. I haven't paid him. If it doesn't work and I break it, I'm not paying for it, because that makes me a good businessman. I'm just kidding. I would never do that. Okay, keyboard. I know where the keyboard is. Keyboard. Now, unfortunately, on this model, the keyboard is only accessible behind the motherboard. So you have to take the entire motherboard out to get to the keyboard. I'm just glad it's removable. I bought this off of eBay. I got a backlit one. This one is not backlit, ironically, which is weird because this computer costs like $3 grand or something brand new. So let's check out this keyboard that we have. You know what? It looks used. I'm completely okay with that. I'd rather see something that's been used instead of something that they say is brand new, because usually brand new keyboards on eBay, if they're not like a genuine part, they don't have an actual like a genuine part number like this one does, they're usually some aftermarket garbage that some guy just like put together in his friggin' basement or something like that. And it doesn't feel the same, the textures aren't the same, the clicky clicks aren't the same. So I'd rather see something that's dirty and has some like Barbara's cupcake gooch on there than see something that's pretending to be something it's not, like me. Okay, time to take this thing apart. Why don't you come over here, baby boy? Now, these Precisions, they have captive screws, so they don't come out, which is also nice. I am gonna replace the thermal paste on this thing too, assuming it even works. Now, it is able to boot into BIOS, which you saw, so I'm hoping everything else works on there. Hoping. Keyword hoping. Comes right out. Look at that. Look at those fans, man. This thing is a beast. It's a nice laptop. Very nice laptop. 2 NVMe slots, 3 NVMe slots. All the storage you need. Interesting little heatsink right here. That's the cam RAM. Interesting. DDR5 cam RAM. And I believe this is a modular GPU as well. So you can replace the GPU on these if the GPU fails. So I noticed some water damage on the corners. A little corrosion on there. It looks like it's just external, cosmetic. So that doesn't bother me too much. This cam RAM is interesting. It's the first time I've seen cam RAM, and it is, it's something. I do like the cam RAM because the pins that it connects to are modular. So if you bend a pin by accident, you can just replace the pad, which is nice. It's something that I think CPU and motherboard manufacturers can learn from.
Do they want to though?
They probably don't want to learn from it.
Another bent pin.
So that's the cam RAM. Was it 4600? 4800. Wow. Wow. So this is what I was talking about. This is removable. So if you end up bending the pins, you can just replace this. So apparently what we just learned, this version of Cameron was Dell's own proprietary version, because in 2022, when this computer was released, the cam standard wasn't finalized yet. So Dell was like, listen, we're just gonna do it live. And they made their own version of it. But in 2023, apparently they did finalize the standard of cam called Cam 2. And that's what most modern computers use, like Lenovo ThinkPad P series and all that stuff. This isn't news to you guys that keep up to date with hardware and you're hardware enthusiasts, but it's news to me because I fix old broken shit that's a few years old. So this is how I learn about stuff like that. So I'm a few years behind. That's what happens when you're too busy fixing shit, not busy keeping up with shit, because it's impossible. I don't even know where to start with this thing. This thing is very intimidating, I'm not even gonna lie. So the cooling system is interesting because the fans blow both ways. So they blow this way, they blow that way. But I am gonna start taking it apart now. So I already unplugged the battery. I'm gonna need a bigger table for this. This is gonna take up a lot of space. And it's gonna be a very long disassembly process. So you know what? I think I am just going to time-lapse this part. All right, so I wanted to stop on this one. This heatsink is super interesting. As you see here, I had to label. I usually don't label screws, but I had to label the screws on this one because there were so many of them. I mean, look at, this is the 2, 5, 6, 7s. There were a lot of screws on this thing. It's an interesting design. It has a subframe for stuff, big battery, NVMe slots. It's just a cool design. I love these enterprise-grade laptops because they always do have some interesting designs, but I am curious how the thermal paste looks, and that looks, kind of looks like dog shit. That looks like vomit. That is not very good. Silicone pads look fine. I'll probably keep those on there. This thermal paste is super watery. Very watery. Interesting. Look at this beautiful NVIDIA chip. How much AI is in this one? AI is stored in the ball. And there's some thermal paste just spread about, so I'm just gonna blow it out of there and just use a toothbrush that I stole from your little brother. I am not going to repaste this yet because I do need to remove the GPU and the motherboard in order to replace the keyboard. So there's no point repasting it right now. I'll do that afterwards. So I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but the GPU is modular. So it's connected using this little PCIe kind of connector thingy. There's a word for it. I don't know what it is. Interesting design. I like it because it means it's more repairable if your GPU fails, which is super common. I would guess especially on these because people are probably using these for like AI and LLMs and BBC. And that's the graphics card. This graphics card is probably worth a lot of money. This little guy right here. We're almost at the keyboard. That's right, we haven't even got to the keyboard yet. We're almost there though. Motherboard is the next thing to come out. And finally, the motherboard is out. Doesn't look like much on the other side. It's a little copper shim for something. It's cooling something over there. Tiny motherboard. A lot of power packed in here, so I'm just gonna have to make more room over here for it. I do have beef with how difficult they made it to replace the keyboard. This is ridiculous. For one of the most common repairs you can do on a computer. And this is how you have to access it. It's ridiculous. But we're getting close. So if I lay this over here, I can see the entire shield looks like it needs to come off. This shield right here needs to come out, and then I can slide the keyboard in. Whoo! So another time lapse on that one, bitches. That's a lot of screws. All this, look at this. All this just to replace the keyboard. Count how many, there's like, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 69 screws right there. Keyboard shield comes out. But we're not done yet, because the keyboard is attached to the shield with 69 more screws. Almost there. We're getting close. Wasn't too bad on those screws. Finally, it comes out. Now the reason I can't just replace the keycap, in case any of you idiots are wondering, it drilled right through the circuit. So this does not work. This keyboard is toast. So this is our new keyboard. Not toast. Now time for reassembly. So what I'm doing now, you'll wonder how we got here. I am testing the screen before I actually install it because the display assembly is only accessible after you remove the motherboard. So you have to take the motherboard out, the heatsink out, all that stuff just to get to the hinges on the display assembly. So what I did is I connected the RAM temporarily, I connected the heatsink temporarily, I connected the grounding screws and the keyboard. Good news is the keyboard is lit up. So that's nice. We have well, it was lit up. It looks like right now it's in a diagnostic mode, which it does that. So I'm hoping any second now, it will come up on the screen. But the keyboard was lit up, which means the keyboard worked, so. Fans aren't spinning, but it's not warm enough to spin yet. And the greatest technician that's ever lived. So Nathan Parts People said he tested this and it didn't work on the machine that he used it on. But I think he probably just didn't wait long enough. He knows way more than I do. That guy's way smarter than I am. But I'm just guessing. We waited, what, 5 minutes probably after we pressed the power buttons. About 5 minutes. So it's a long time to wait to test a part. So I'm sure he waited like a few minutes and said, fuck this, it doesn't work. This screen is gorgeous though. 16-inch 4K OLED. Yeah, so right now what I'm using, my current laptop, is an HP Spectre X360. Ooh, is it touchscreen?
4K OLED touchscreen. You fucking got it all.
Beautiful. I am pumped, dude. I'm so happy about this. I'm so happy about this. This is awesome. Wow, so I'm pumped. All right, so now let's officially replace the display.
You having fun yet?
I'm having fun.
Cool.
It makes it all worth it, dude.
11 minutes later.
All the hinge screws are out, and there it is. There's the old screen. And it's time for the new screen. I am so pumped. I am so pumped. To take a laptop that a company threw away to get a tax write-off, and such a good laptop, one that has such potential, it feels good. This is why we do it. This is why we do it. And for selfish reasons, because I just got a $3,000 laptop for less than, what, 3, 4, 5. It's insane, man. Shout out to Parts People, dude. I could not find this screen anywhere. Anywhere. I couldn't find it on eBay. I couldn't find it on any website, dude. I was in the depths of Shenzhen and I could not find this screen. And somehow Nathan at Parts People found this thing. Found two of them. Found the OLED one, then found the FHD one, and was like, I got you. This is an interesting little thing. You see this heatsink right here? Why is that there? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious. It looks like there's a vent on both sides. It looks like there's a vent, like the fan blows through this. I'm curious. And as hard as this was, I know I bitched and complained about the keyboard being that difficult to replace, which, listen, they deserve that criticism. I really like this laptop. This is like peak Dell, what Dell can actually achieve. It's a polar opposite of like working on a Dell Inspiron when you work on a Dell Precision or a Dell, not even an XPS, dude. I don't even lob XPS in the same category. I would say like the Precisions and the Latitudes, some of the higher end Latitudes. It just makes it's nice. It's nice to see this instead of the garbage dog shit from the consumer model laptops. Now, what I'm gonna do with this old screen, I'm gonna repackage it, and I'm gonna send it back to parts people and say it didn't work. And then I'm gonna see what he says. But right now we have to reinstall the motherboard and repaste the GPU and CPU. Gonna get some PTM 7950 for this bad boy, because only the best for myself. I'm gonna treat myself. CPU is repasted, and we're just connecting the GPU now. So this GPU, it uses a form factor. It's not MXM, but it uses a DGFF, which is kind of Dell's own proprietary form factor. It's used with some Alienware computers and also used with, obviously, Dell computers. This can take a 3080 Ti, but I couldn't find any. We just looked for it on eBay. I couldn't even find a single one, which is interesting. But yeah, PTM's put on the CPU. We're just gonna put it on the GPU now. Now, if you made it this far in the video, I'm gonna start ranting, because you guys love when I rant. My news feed on Google News has been filled with a bunch of websites advertising for Memorial Day laptop sales. These are the laptops that we recommend for Memorial Day. First of all, Memorial Day is not supposed to be something that you celebrate, you know, ode to capitalism. And what aggravates me is that every single holiday, no matter what holiday it is, we can have fucking Holocaust Remembrance Day. I'm surprised there's no sales, you know, no special deals on Holocaust Remembrance Day. It's like,
Not yet.
not yet, right? Yeah, we're getting there. It's just, it's so stupid, man. And I fight back against that stuff on every single moral, ethical, everything. I hate that shit so much. I can't describe the amount of disdain I have for sales like that. Stop buying shit. Stop buying shit. Especially something that's gonna be disposable, like these stupid consumer laptops. Like PC Mag, I'm calling out names now. PC Mag I saw had some laptop sales, and it's always the same thing. It's always like a fucking $200 HP Pavilion that you know is not gonna last 30 seconds and cost 300 bucks. What you should do on Memorial Day is fucking think about everybody that's passed away, everybody who's died, so that you can sit there in your Subway shop and eat a fucking sandwich while some guy in the next room is scrubbing dust out of a computer. All right, it's been 3 hours. It's finally put back together. I think I did very well, but I'm left over with one screw. Ah. If it fits, it sits. Oh wait, I still need that. I'm genuinely excited about this computer. The reason this is so important to me, because I'm gonna be traveling this month, next month. There's a piece of epoxy on there. Thanks, Mr. Easter. And I'm gonna need something to edit on the go. It does kind of suck though, because the charger for this thing is huge. Okay, moment of truth. It is fully assembled with the graphics card, the new screen, the new keyboard, which you can see, just a small piece of the frame missing. Not bad at all. I do need to clean it off. Backlit, so this is it. This is the moment of truth. It's fully assembled, the first boot up. Power button. Did I plug the battery in? Hold on, did I plug the battery in? Fuck, man.
I'll bet there's some shit.
The greatest technician that's ever lived.
Don't judge me. This thing is so heavy. The airport is gonna fine me for trying to even put this on the conveyor belt. Moment of actual truth. Power button.
It's gonna take like 5 minutes again.
Yeah, it takes a while. The first boot up, it takes a while. It's actually funny. The battery tells you on first boot it's gonna take a while, which is cool that Dell included that so that you don't start losing your shit when the computer doesn't turn on. which I do frequently.
20 minutes later.
One day later.
Well now, it has been one day. This is one day later. Later is 3 p.m. I was up very late trying to figure out why the screen wouldn't turn on. I'm still not sure, but the screen is on right now. I tried so much stuff troubleshooting to figure out why the screen turned on for us once and then wouldn't turn on for us again. I took an NVMe that already had Windows on it and I installed it in the computer just to see maybe if it was a driver's thing. I didn't know. It's just weird that it appeared in BIOS and then it just stopped working. And if you look at the clip before, when I clicked on that performance screen, the screen went black. I thought it was just like loading something, but it doesn't do that. That's not how it works. So then I was like, whoa, is the screen bad? So I put on this screen temporarily, the FHD screen, and I installed Windows, installed all the drivers, did all that stuff. What I just did just now, this is working now. It's only been working for 10 minutes. The only thing I did, I went into BIOS and I disabled hybrid graphics. So now it's using the dedicated NVIDIA GPU 100%. Whereas before it was using the Intel integrated GPU. The thing I don't understand, which is why I'm not sure if that's even the issue, is if you look at the clip before, the GPU wasn't even installed. So I don't know what's going on here. So while I roll, I just want to kind of continue to troubleshoot. Holy crap, I've been trying everything and it's been, my brain is cooked right now. More cooked than usual. So right now, there's no touch because the IR cable is disconnected. I'm gonna plug in that cable and we're gonna see what happens. But holy crap, am I stressed out. I'm stressed. Issues like this suck. So IR is connected. You'd think I would be very happy that I got it to work, but I'm not because that variable scares me. What if I take this computer out on the road with me somewhere and all of a sudden I have no screen? I have no touch. I have no touch. I have no touch. Oh, you know why? Because fucking fast startup. Fast goddamn startup. The computer actually didn't shut down. That's why. I hate fast startup. Fast startup is the worst thing that's ever happened to Windows. Yep, touches. All right, so I have touch now. This is where we find out if it's an issue with the graphics. I don't know why it would do this. I'm not a computer engineer, but I don't know why it would work at one point and then not work at another point. All right, so I'm gonna go into BIOS setup. Now last time I pressed performance and it farted out. Is it a wattage thing? Can the Intel iGPU not provide enough wattage for a 4K OLED? I don't know. So I'm gonna go into display. Hybrid graphics enables both integrated and discrete GPU. So it'll switch back and forth between what program like needs what. I'm gonna turn that back on. I'm not gonna mess with this one. It doesn't need to be messed with. Apply changes, and we're gonna see if we get a BIOS menu, a boot menu. If we do get a boot menu, I'm gonna be aggravated because why wasn't it giving me a boot menu before? And that's when it's gonna get scary because you wanna isolate variables when you have problems, because if you can't isolate the variables, the problem can come back. I'm just very glad this is not a customer's computer because imagine the crap I have. This computer has no documentation for this issue. There's anywhere on the internet, there's no record of somebody trying to upgrade the FHD to a 4K screen. So there's nothing that you can just Google and be like, okay, that's the problem. If somebody was cool, they would edit this video to make that a thing.
If you have this problem with your Dell Precision, you're trying to upgrade a...
All right, so we have nothing. You heard that? That was the Windows boot sound, black screen. So the 4K OLED will only work if you disable the integrated graphics, which means your battery is gonna be dog shit. This thing, it basically turns a laptop into a desktop. I don't mind that. I'm willing to work with that because this thing's always plugged in anyways. If I'm gonna be doing video editing, I'm not gonna be doing it that's not near a plug. If I'm gonna be watching 4K Pokemon, then I'm gonna be near an outlet. Now we have to actually go back into BIOS, which sucks because that means I have to plug in that screen again because for some god-awful reason, I can't get BIOS to go onto an external display. So, sorry Windows, I'm shutting you down. All right, now, time for the jank. You guys ready for the jank? You know, remember all that praise I was giving this computer before? I was praising it for being modular and all that shit. I actually take that back because the more I researched it, the more I realized every single thing in this computer is proprietary. The GPU is proprietary to Dell, the RAM is proprietary to Dell. Everything is proprietary in this damn machine. And I kind of understand why Dell would do that to just get things over with, because they were sick of everybody dragging their feet when it came to developing a standard or adopting a standard. But for the consumer, the end consumer, like me, somebody who's cheap and is used to swapping things, like wives, it's a pain in the ass. How is this a thing, though? How is this a thing? Is it a motherboard thing? Is it a BIOS thing? The computers, the Precisions that were equipped with the 4K OLEDs, did they have a different BIOS, like, that forced a certain amount of, like, power to go to the OLED? Because again, it takes 14 watts. That's a lot of watts. Because what would happen if, you know, the BIOS gets reset and you get a black screen because there's not enough wattage and the hybrid graphics aren't disabled yet? It's an interesting, somebody out there knows. And like I said, I couldn't even connect this to an external display. It wouldn't work. I tried every USB-C. I know there's one USB-C port that's specific to DisplayPort. That's this one right here. That's the DP port. But it still didn't work. So I have a lot of questions, more questions than answers for this video. All right, I'm gonna go back into BIOS setup and I'm gonna go back into display and I am going to turn off hybrid graphics. Now this is an interesting one. I didn't click this one. Discrete graphics controller direct output mode. Available when enable hybrid graphics is selected. If selected, the system will set all external displays to be managed by the discrete graphics controller with the purpose of enabling unique discrete graphics controller features. The internal display will be managed by the internal. I wonder if it's seeing the 4K as an external display and it's not seeing it as an internal display. I kind of want to try that. Okay, I'm gonna apply these changes. Okay, so it's applied, it's saved. I'm just gonna turn the computer off now, so I don't have to worry about. Okay, computer's off. I'm just gonna wait a second. Don't ever disconnect an LCD without taking the battery out, because you will blow the backlight. Both cables are plugged in. Let's see if I get a boot image, because that'll tell me right away if it actually did work. It's not gonna go into BIOS again because the battery was never unplugged. That's the only reason I did it with the battery plugged in. There's a, that panel was undone. That's interesting. So what I'm waiting for right now is the Windows, the sound of Windows. Boom, boom, boom. If I don't get a boot logo and I do get boom, 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 it means it didn't work. So my theory is incorrect. That's interesting. I still haven't even gotten the boom, boom, boom. Oh, it's probably, you know why? Because I hard shut it down. It's probably panicking right now. Still no doom, doom, doom. All right, at this point, I'm just gonna shut this bitch down again. I'm running out of patience. So for some reason, the integrated graphics cannot power this display, period. That's the conclusion, for whatever reason it is. Why it worked before, when we tested it, I don't know. Did it actually work? That's debatable, because again, when I pressed that button, or when I pressed on the screen, it immediately just conked out. But why wasn't I ever able to get it to do that again? That's what bugs me, is that I was never able to get to that point again. And the thing that this sucks, man, this has taken so long because it takes so long to post after you disconnect the battery. And you have to disconnect the battery before you swap screens so you don't blow something up. This computer is truly the gift that keeps on giving. I can't install Windows on here. For some reason, it does not like this NVMe. I have no idea why. I even swapped screens because I thought maybe it had something to do with the graphics card, you know, the hybrid graphics being enabled. It just does not like this NVMe. Weird. I have no idea why. This is a Gen 4 NVMe. It's the same thing. It's an MP44L instead of MP33L. It's very odd. If I remove the NVMe, it has no problem booting. What the fuck? Vagine. I have a Samsung Gen 4 NVMe in here now. That's a Samsung. It did not give me the driver verification error, whatever the hell it's called. What the hell? Is it the Team Poop SSD? That's the bad Team Poop SSD. I'm gonna try another Team Poop SSD. Let's see if this one works. If it does, then that means that NVMe is bad out of the box. I just don't understand how so many things keep going wrong on this computer. And again, imagine for a second that this was a customer's device. I would have spent it's going on over 12 hours now I've been working on this computer. How do you charge for that? You know what I'm saying? How the heck would it even be profitable? It's crazy, man. I have no regrets of leaving this industry and doing what I do now. Because now I can swear and all that stuff, and there's not somebody on the other end of it. Okay, so let's see if it does not like the Team Poop NVMe. PCIe Gen 4 MP44L. It does not like the Team Poop NVMe. Amazing. That is absolutely insane. But it has no problem with the Samsung NVMe, or even the old Team Poop NVMe, the Gen 3 ones. So what the hell is that? Answer that one for me, everybody. You guys are the wizards here. Why is that? Why is that the case? fucking mouse doesn't work. Kill me! Just fucking put me out of my misery, dude. Okay, enable hybrid. Okay, apply changes. Don't ever do this. You gotta take this Team Poop NVMe out. Don't worry about how I was holding that screen up. You say Virgin, and I say Virgin. Let's call the whole thing Bob's. Does like Team Poop use a proprietary NVMe driver or something like that? That's not signed with the Windows installer or something? This is the newest version of Windows. The install is the newest version. So what the heck is that all about? That's bothering me more than this whole friggin' screen thing did. I've never seen that issue come up with multiple NVMEs, especially a brand new one.
One eternity later.
So that's it. I don't know why the Team Poop NVMe didn't work. The Samsung one's working just fine. I'm happy with it. I just need to give it a little cleanup on here. So right now I'm just installing and updating all the drivers, which is gonna take forever. It's already 5 o'clock, so it's actually more than 24 hours that we've been working on this thing. If you take away anything from this video, it's don't ever try to do something for yourself. Don't ever buy anything nice for yourself. Don't ever try to treat yourself, because you'll just suffer. Because that's how it is in this industry. If this was somebody else's computer, it probably would have been very easy and it would have worked no problem. But because you're trying to treat yourself, you know, the IT gods are gonna start throwing thunderbolts in the form of blue screens of death and random issues that can't be replicated. But most importantly, I have to ship back the screen I didn't use, which resembles the old screen, but don't worry, it's not. Don't you worry. Now, my letter to parts person. You have to write it stern. I'm a consumer, I should be treated right, and I'm returning it exactly as how I found it.
What? What?